What's going on, everybody? Your boys are back. That post crew for your power play fantasy football talk. So we gonna get y'all ready up until game time, so you can watch that Washington football team handle their business against the New York Giants. So we're gonna get in. So good evening to everybody and welcome. Of course, this is our Positions on Sports talk show. This is our special show, the Power Play Fantasy Football Show. We come to you every Thursday night at 7 p.m. during the NFL football season. We'll discuss the news from around the world of fantasy football. We highlight the most popular players, trades, injury reports. We got those sensible picks for you. We got the top dogs, the sleepers, the quick hits, the quiet storm, and those closers for you, so y'all can get ready with those lineups before game time. So it is 7:02, just past the hour. You got until about 8 o'clock to get them straight. So anything that we say that piques your interest, go ahead and make those changes, and you can thank us later. So, of course, we're your boys. You can find us on our Facebook Live, also on Twitch. You can also find us on our YouTube channel by the same name. And of course, we're podcasting on all the major platforms. So I'm here with my buddy, my partner, my co-host tonight, Jay Wills in the house. Jay Wills, holler at the people.
Yes, man. I'm excited to be here tonight, back with my post family, excited to do this fantasy show. My personal team may not be doing that well, but we're hoping that we can provide the information that you need for your team to be doing very well, man. So I'm excited. Let's go.
I hear you. Jay Wills, it's only week one, though. We going into week two, so we only had one game.
Trade them all in.
It's going to be all right. Look, I know some folks out there that feel just like you do after one game. They like, who in the world did I pick up this year? I'm trying to tell you, we do have some surprises, but we also got some other players that folks hope to get back, or hope that can start their season very soon. So, Jay Wills, I'm going to let you hit the people up with the current injury report we had.
Sounds good, man. Let's off top. Josh Jacobs, ankle toe injury. He did not practice on Thursday. That's Las Vegas Raiders running back Josh Jacobs. He did not practice today, so you definitely want to keep an eye on him to see what you want to do with your lineup as the week progresses. We also have Marquis Brown down with an ankle. He was sidelined today during Thursday's practice. This is the wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. Darius Leonard didn't practice Thursday for the Colts. DeMarcus Lawrence suffers a broken foot during practice. Their defensive lineman, DeMarcus Lawrence. He's touted as probably the best defensive starter on that team. So this drastically changes what they're going to do on the defensive side of the ball. So you definitely want to keep an eye on that, especially with it being earlier than in the year where you can make a change right now. Jerry Judy, ankle. He's ruled out for 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain. Ouch. How does that hit Professor J? Jerry Judy going down.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me of Mike Thomas going down last year. He had a similar high ankle sprain, and everybody knows, and he was on my fantasy team. He was never the same the entire season. Even when he came back late in the season, he just was not the same.
Man. Speaking of not the same, Odell Beckham, he's already ruled out for week 2. They're not even going to take the chances. I know he's trying his best to get his reps in right now. Or does Cleveland feel like they have the receiving core that they need? I don't know. I'm going to leave that alone. That's maybe for Tuesday talk. But right now, Odell Beckham will not touch the field. Evan Ingram ruled out versus Washington. Cool. I appreciate that. Michael Thomas placed on the reserve COVID-19 list. This is the Saints. Michael Thomas, wide receiver. Yep. He's been placed on the safety protocol list, already on the PUP list for an ankle injury. Thomas won't be seen until week 8, and fantasy may not see him be his former self this year either. It is possible, as the Saints are expected to contend for the division and the Super Bowl. Very popular, Raheem Mostert. I may have.
Hey, Jay Wills, real quick. Let's go back because we mentioned Michael Thomas for the second time. Now, unbeknownst to how it happened, like 8 different players on the Saints team also got COVID. Because where were they playing last week? In Florida. And we know all about the stuff that go on in Florida with the COVID virus and everything. So it's hitting the team and it's hitting them hard. I'm hoping that it stopped at those 8 players and doesn't, get the rest of them, because the NFL was clear about the fact that you will forfeit a game if y'all don't have players suited up that can play. So we definitely got to keep an eye on that for fantasy purposes and for real life purposes with that team. I mean, if you got Michael Thomas on your team, and this is word to the wise, this is the second year that he won't be available. Go ahead and drop him now. Pick up another wide receiver while you can.
That's tough. That's tough right there. The man is not willing to make the mental decisions he needs to make sure he stays stable and consistent. One of the things I love about Bill Belichick, consistency goes hand in hand with reliability. Can I actually put you in the game? So if Michael Thomas isn't going to make the best mental decisions, then yes, it may be time to move on, ladies and gentlemen.
You preaching, because that's kind of like what happened to Cam, right? Because that's how Bill Belichick feels about his players. Yeah,
I completely agree with you, brother. Michael Gallup has been placed on IR. Dallas Cowboys placed Michael Gallup on the injured reserve on Monday. Gallup can be activated after 3 weeks. This was exactly very, very heartbreaking, but 3 weeks expected timetable after he suffered a calf strain in the Cowboys' last loss Thursday against Tampa Bay. I want to throw in Jamal Williams pops up on the injury report. This is Lions running back Jamal Williams. A.J. Brown with the Titans practiced in full on Thursday. So I think he offsets my man Julio Jones. Their offense may be a little bit more fiery this week coming around. So A.J. Brown, he did practice on Thursday for anybody who was in possession of that young man there. Jamison Crowder was limited in practice on Thursday. My former beloved Jay Crowder, man, he's gone. But he is injured. He played. Forgive me. Logged full participation during Thursday's practice session. Brown was limited on Wednesday. The fact that he was able to practice full on Thursday confirms that he'll suit up at full strength on Sunday, barring any setbacks. DeAndre Swift was limited in practice. Eric Ebron, he didn't practice today as well. We all know about the situation with Ryan Fitzpatrick. He has opted out of surgery. For any fantasy owners that have Ryan Fitzpatrick as their QB, he's opted out of surgery, so he's hoping that he can be back by week 8, somewhere between week 8 and week 10. I don't know.
Hey, Jay Wills, there'll be no Fitz magic this year. Just let everybody know. There'll be no Fitz magic this year.
He went to pull a deck of cards out and had nothing. Ain't no magic this year, baby.
Yeah, nothing.
Josh Jacobs, I think we touched on him. Zach Ertz, hamstring. He's back at practice.
Okay,
yes, sir.
Okay.
He is
I
back.
know a couple of our folks in our league love them some Zach Ertz. So, all right, he's back. Okay, see what he can do.
I believe we touched on DeMarcus Lawrence. So that is your fantasy football injury updates. Please check on it yourself. If any of the players that we mentioned who are slated to possibly play, who did practice this Thursday, keep an eye on them, because they're regularly going to give you updates on whether or not they're active or not, healthy or not. All that plays a part in making sure your fantasy team is in the best position possible to win. Thank you.
That's righteous. Yeah, and to go back to Raheem Mostert, man, that was a big blow. This was a cat that racked up fantasy points last year. Out of all the injuries that San Francisco had last year, he was one of the bright spots. So to see him go down already his season, that's a big killer, because a lot of people, have him rostered on their teams, and now they're scrambling to find another running back. I do want to touch on Josh Jacobs, because that toe, something like that, especially for a running back, can linger an entire year. Now, he did get 2 touchdowns on Monday night against the Ravens. So he's still a solid go, but we're going to see how, week 8, week 12, later on into the season, how that toe is doing. Because as they continue to grind throughout the season, man, he might not be as effective as you would like him to. But right now, let the man run, limit him in practice, and let him do his thing on Sundays is what I got to say. Absolutely. All right, and Michael Gallup, even though, I'm going to set aside my feelings on teams with the Cowboys while we're doing fantasy, and I will say that the loss of Michael Gallup on teams now, the brother that I just played this past week, I wish Michael Gallup was hurt before that game. He would have had a little less points, and I might have got my first victory, but it's all good. Like I said, it's only the first week. We're going into the second week. But that's good stuff. So make sure you heard it here. Plan accordingly as to how you play your players. All right. And we're going to get into a few that you definitely should start and some that you should keep on the bench. But for now, let's go to the honors, Jay Wills.
Yes,
let's
sir.
Talk about some cats that did magnificent this past week 1 that I expect to keep it going in week 2. They're going to double it up, double our fortune. And I gotta go first to none other than Who Dat Nation's Jameis Winston.
Yes.
Jameis balled out against an uninspired Green Bay Packers. That defense at one time last year, I know they were top 10, but they might have flirted with top 5, and they look like that in the opening game against Jameis Winston and them boys from Who Dat Nation, the Saints. So I expect him against the Panthers that eat more. I expect him to throw that ball. Even without Michael Thomas, he still has weapons. He still has Alvin Kamara, so he can spread that thing around. That boy gave that deep ball, and I hate to say it, but Drew couldn't do it no more. But I hate to say it, but it's true. Even he had to joke about it on Sunday night with Tony Dungy and the boys. But he's in a good spot. He's making millions commentating. It was time to give it up. Still one of the greatest of all time. But Jameis has showed maturity. And that's the thing that I wish would rub off on one Cam Newton, and maybe he would have already been picked up. There's a reason why even before the Patriots picked him up, he was still sitting out there. It wasn't just the injury concerns. It was just his mentality and what he brings to a locker room and what he brings to the game. Yes, players like him, but it doesn't translate on the field for him being available. And that's part of the reason why. But definitely top dogs for last week, and I expect him to roll this week against the Panthers, is Jameis Winston. So the caveat that I'm going to tell you would keep Jameis on the bench is if you got another starter that you're going to play this week against another matchup that you think will be better. So be cautious with it, but he is a QB1. But if you got another QB1 and you kind of measuring it, look at the defenses that they're playing against and make your choice accordingly. The next one is a no-brainer as well. Matthew Stafford. I mean, he did the exact same thing in prime time that I was telling people he was doing in Detroit. But nobody sees Detroit games nationally except on Thanksgiving, right? Because they mad that, the major networks don't put them on in our market. You got to live in Detroit or the surrounding areas in order to get the teams. But Stafford has the numbers. If you've been looking at his career since he came out of Georgia, he has been blazing, and he only really had one top receiver, which was Megatron his whole career. Now that dude got 3. I mean, he can, and he showed you, if given the opportunity in the right offense, he can sling that thing around and he can rack up numbers. I mean, I didn't think that they would be tough to beat. I knew he would do well, but the way that they played, if they keep that up, man. And against the Colts, they're another top defense that got exposed this past Sunday. I don't know, maybe they just not ready to play, Jay Wills, but they always say defense is ahead of the offense when the year starts. But for those two teams, it looked like the other way around. So I'm picking Stafford, have another great game against that secondary for the Colts. And then to round out the top dogs, y'all going to be surprised, Teddy Bridgewater.
Ooh.
Teddy Bridgewater. People thought he was done. They said Carolina didn't have faith in him. They were done with him. They flushed him out, and he ended up with Denver. People expected him maybe to not get that starting role to be the secondary guy there. He won out, and now you see what he can do. And he about to play against the Jaguars this week. So enough said. But if you got Teddy Bridgewater and it's an iffy between whether he should be your QB1 this week and maybe you had Fitzmagic or Fitzpatrick, man, go ahead and put him up in there and get it done with Teddy Bridgewater. The Jags are a JV team this year. They could very well lose every game or go like 1 or 2 in 15 or something like that. So don't hold your breath. You know, if you got Trevor Lawrence, I feel bad for you because he gonna get knocked around this year. He probably break Jameis Winston's record. He already threw 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So if you got that boy, man, my condolences to you already. All right, so let's look at the sleepers of the week. Y'all gonna be shocked at this one, and I'll take your feedback. What's up, Chauncey? Welcome to the show. Y'all gonna get mad at me a little bit because everybody been screaming his name, but he is still a sleeper. And I'm going with Jaylen Hurts, the quarterback for the Eagles. And the reason why he was there, Jay Wills, why he's there again this week, is because one good performance does not make you yet that dude that everybody needs to be scared of. So I'm going to caution everybody. I'm not telling you not to start him if you have him. What I'm saying is that he's still in that sleeper role because still a lot of pundits don't expect him to still turn that corner. They say it could be an anomaly. You know, every quarterback can have a good game every now and again, right? So we're about to see him, you know, turn from that sleeper to letting people know that he's arrived. I say give him to about week 3. If he's still playing at that high level, people going to start getting worried. And I'm going to tell you, they're going to start getting worried like it's RG3 again up in there. Remember 2012? Remember the league couldn't do nothing with RG3. And if he didn't get hurt, man, he and Lamar Jackson, to me, would probably be running neck and neck for that type of dude that's running an offense. But Jaylen Hurts is arriving, so pay attention. Next one. I know he didn't have a great game last week, but that's because they got away from the run. And that's because, you know, they pretty much geared up towards it. And that's Derrick Henry. You can't expect this dude every week in and week out not to get the rock. And once he gets the rock, not to plow people over and get the yards that he needs. So he started the season slow, people sleeping. So now he's going to have to wake people up. And I'll even throw Zeke Elliott in there for the same reason, because they had to go pass heavy. You know, I like the trickery that Dallas pulled out. It shows you that they've been doing some things and not showing too much on Hard Knocks. So I'll give them kudos for that. But they're going to have to give the ball to that man a whole lot more for them to be successful. And the last sleeper, and Big Ed would like this one, Najee Harris. I know Big Ben, and I told y'all, I'm going to get the fellas on the show next week. I told them Big Ben was going to come out and let people know that elbow is healthy. He going to sling that rock. So Najee didn't get that shine, just like I told Ed and the rest of the fellas. Y'all better look out for Ben to serve notice that I'm throwing this year, and I'm trying to get me a championship before I leave this joint. So Najee will get more touches this week, but he's in that sleeper role. But he's playing against the Raiders. All right, quick hits. And I know you probably got something to add here, Jay Wills. So I got Tyreek Hill. I got Antonio Gibson, right? So those are my 2 quick hits this week because those 2 dudes are home run hitters. I know Antonio had a little bit of a shoulder stinger, right? Probably why he fumbled the ball Sunday. But they say he's good to go tonight. He practiced well, and I think he's going to look to bounce back because that fumble stung him. He even gave commentary that was like, "Look, that was on me." But I like the young man owning that, so that means he's going to come back and he's going to do what he needs to. So look for him and Tyreek Hill this week to be explosive in their games, and I'm calling it now. You got somebody else to add in there for the quick hits?
You know, you inspired me so much with the sleepers of the week. And when I think back on what he could have done to us last year, when me being a fan of the Washington football team, we had a game that was going down to the wire with the Eagles. Jaylen Hurts was looking very good. He was starting to get into a rhythm. Then they pulled him. I said they shouldn't have done that. That man has a lot in the tank. The team was ready to ride and die with that young man. So I'm going to step out there and say for my quick hit, I'm going to throw in Jaylen Hurts.
Oh, it's an early two-hitter this week. We usually don't get cats in two spots till mid-season. Oh man, hey y'all, is he convincing you? Should Jaylen Hurts be starting? I think you heard it here first. He's in two areas. He's a sleeper as well as a quick hitter. Because you know Jaylen can run for that home run, and now we can see he can throw for that home run. Don't sleep on his wide receiver Rager either, man. That dude is a speedster, and he can make it happen. See, people down on him, he's a quiet is kept sleeper too. People down on Rager because he didn't show out last year, which was his rookie year. So understand, y'all, rookies don't always shine like you want them to. Sometimes it takes year 2 or year 3 before they actually show you what they capable of. So I like that. We got Jaylen Hurts in 2 spots this week. Y'all better pay attention. Pay attention because you heard. Because we're not wrong too much. So understand that when we get down on somebody like Hurts, you better have them up in there. All right. So now we got the quiet storms. All right. These the players that, you know, sometimes you won't see them coming. It's like it's brewing. They get a catch here, run there, throw there, and then it just starts piling up, and then boom. I'm gonna start off with Keenan Allen, wide receiver, because he scared Washington plenty of times. He and Mike Williams this past Sunday. So against the Cowboys, I'm expecting them to do more of the same, because Justin Herbert has 2 trusty big wide receivers that he can go to, and then they don't drop too many passes either, y'all. So look for them. I like them both because they're a lot like Keyshawn Johnson was in his prime. They big, lengthy possession receivers. They can body you. They can blow right past you. Like, they got all that to their game. That's why you got to be afraid of the Chargers. I mean, Washington should have won that game, but I'm not mad because LA is a much better team than they used to be. So they serve and notice that they can actually play some ball. So I look for them to keep Dallas 0-2 and keep it moving with Keenan Allen. The next one, and this is because of what happened to Raheem Mostert, but Elijah Mitchell, this dude can run. To me, he's like Patterson for Washington, that if he get a real chance to carry that rock full time, that he's going to surprise a whole lot of people and he going to blaze. This dude got power. He has speed. He seems like he has some smarts. I think Elijah Mitchell will get a bulk of the carries this week against the Eagles. That's going to be a nice game with them dueling back and forth, because the Eagles got some nice running backs as well. So I'm looking forward to Elijah Mitchell still stepping up like he did this past weekend when Mostert went down, because as soon as he got in the game, he was golden, and I like that. And then it pains me, but the next one is Rob Gronkowski. Just when I thought this dude didn't have nothing left in the tank, Jay Wills, he's still making big catches, man. What's going on? Dude slow as molasses, dude. But he still gets open and makes the catch. I don't understand. He just makes the catches. Even as fast as Micah Parsons was running a 4.35, 3.9 or something like that, he couldn't even keep up with Gronkowski. Right. I was like, what's going on?
He's deceptively fast. He runs a solid route. He has a rapport with Tom Brady.
Right.
They knew. If nobody else knew, Tom and Rob knew. So it is not a surprise to me that, well, yes, physically, from the physical standpoint, you would think a guy who retired a year or two prior didn't have that much in the tank. Lo and behold, this man is ready. He's primed to go. If put in a position, he can score you one. He's a red zone beast. He can still get up. Athletically, he still got some juice in the tank. But to piggyback on what you said earlier about Elijah Mitchell, I had to drop a running back to sign that guy. I definitely put him on my squad.
Okay, smart move.
Yeah. I'm taking your. This advice is so good. I took it personally before it even happened. So if you got the opportunity to pick this man up, it'll be well worth it if one of your running backs isn't hot stuff. This guy's about to get the bulk of carries and he can run the ball. So I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, and I can tell you, in a league as large as ours, somebody already snatched him up. But if you're in a smaller league, he'll probably still be lingering out there. Go ahead and grab him if you don't want to start them this week, which I probably would, then go ahead and at least put them on your bench and stash them for a rainy day. So that's a definite good pick. Yeah, Chauncey, that's going to be a really good game. That sneakily might be the game of the week because the 49ers are really primed to make a run in that tough division. That's probably the toughest division in all of football because now you see Arizona not playing. See, at first we thought they would be the babies, being the seller of the league, but now it's looking like they all going to be fighting for that division. So that they might get 3 teams in for real into the playoffs. But yeah, that's going to be a real good game. So come back next week so we can talk about it. Matter of fact, we're going to hit that game on Tuesday on our normal show. But definitely fantasy implications. We'll talk about what happens there. All right. So I know you got to go in a few minutes, Jay Will. So let's go down to the closers. So I got to give love to Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert played a really good game against Washington. I think he'll continue against the Cowboys. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a conspiracy what happened to Tyrod last year, but Justin Herbert to me was that dude. And I liked him a whole lot as the number 1 quarterback in his draft. And I was not quiet about it because I just love the way that he approached the game. All of these brothers are talented. But when you look at the mindset and how someone approaches the game, their demeanor around it, how they study the game, how they connect with their teammates, this young man has it there. He has the capabilities of that type of leader that you would want to be your quarterback on your team. And casting no aspersions on, because I know we talk about black quarterback versus the white quarterback, this dude can ball. So if I put my stamp of approval on it, I mean, it's no shade there. So definitely, I think that the Cowboys will keep this thing close. But I got Justin Herbert hitting one of them receivers, Keenan Allen or Mike Williams, for a game winner to walk it off and beat the Cowboys. And then next, I got to say Jamar Chase. Now, Jamar Chase, man, we were ripping him because we were at the preseason game when Cincinnati played Washington when Jamar dropped like 3 or 4 passes. And I was like, this dude's supposed to be the man. What's going on? Why is he dropping the ball? But he started the season. Like, I was just playing with y'all. That was preseason. He had a monster game. And I'm thinking that LSU connection between he and Burrow, that's going to be the next best thing since sliced bread this year, where you're going to see that connection happening over and over and over again. And against the Bears, they still licking their chops. I mean, for real, they just got Khalil Mack. I know they got, I think, Hicks or some other guy, but Khalil Mack is it, and then there's really nothing else. As far as the secondary, I think that Jamar Chase and Burrow will have a field day. I think that Joe Mixon will also have a good game. Y'all got to watch out for Cincinnati. They are going to stay at the bottom of that league, but, they got to take baby steps. So Jamar Chase is a closer. Got him catching 2 touchdowns and doing his thing. And then, man, can it happen twice in 1 week? Can it? I got Rob Gronkowski as a closer.
Yeah.
And the reason why I have him here, everybody talking about Kyle Pitts, right? Kyle Pitts. Rob gonna come into this game like, let me show this young buck how you play tight end. Absolutely. And I just think that he and Brady gonna connect even better than they did against Dallas. And he gonna close them boys out. I know the Falcons gonna put up a fight, but I just don't think they're gonna have a really good record this year. But I think Rob, this first, we made show history this week. 2 times, 2 people made it in 2 particular areas, and it's only week 2. So look out for Rob Gronkowski. I'm mad I didn't draft him now, Jay Wills.
We all are.
Yeah. But I know you got to go. You want to say any parting words, and then I'm going to close the show out with the sensible picks and the who you got.
Everyone, just be smart with your choices. Do your research. Be up to date. If you need to join the ESPN app, the NFL app, do what you need to do to make sure you're getting a constant flow of what's going on with these teams via their practices. Check for trends, things that are trending up, trending down. If you always have a question, we're always right here. You can get this on Facebook, Instagram. We're very interactive with our fan base. So if anyone has a question for Professor J, Big Reg, Sense, and
you,
J, I'm a bit of a rookie. I'm learning. I'm going over a lot of information and learning quick, but everybody else that's on the show, they're top flight with it. Other than that, love everyone. Be safe, and I will see you all next Thursday.
Bless you, D. Go ahead and hit that beat. Bless you, man. Thank you. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna continue on, and then we're gonna close it out to give you plenty of time for you to get things ready, get your wings ready, get your pizza ordered, all that stuff for the game tonight. So Sense was unable to join us tonight. So shout out to Sense. I'm gonna hit up his sensible picks right now so you can plan yourselves accordingly. All right. So we have the for show starts. So we're looking at the man, the myth, the legend that we just mentioned. That's Justin Herbert. Start him versus the Cowboys. Don't ask questions. Just start him. Tyreek Hill. He was mentioned as well in our list against the Ravens. Don't ask questions. Just start him. When has Cheetah ever let you down? So if you have him as your wide receiver one, you'll be happy. And then you got to start Aaron Rodgers. He's going to turn the corner at some time this year. Reigning MVP, and he's playing the Lions. The Lions give up the most yardage, especially the running backs in the league, especially from last year's fantasy. Look for Aaron to connect with his favorite boys. He got Kyle back. He got his boy Adams. They're going to do some damage against the Lions. The Lions might be in danger again from that. Oh, well, it's going to be 0-17 now. Who's going to break the record? They got the 0-16 record. Who's going to break the record? Will it be this year? The Jaguars could be in the running for that too. Melvin Gordon. I know Melvin Gordon was terrible last year, both in real life and fantasy. But if he keeps running like he did in week one, he'll be fine. But at least this week against the Jaguars, go ahead and start him because he should have a field day against them. And then, of course, Tampa Bay's defense against the Falcons. Start him. There's special teams and defense. Start. All right, let's hit with the Nas son. Sit him down. Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is trying to battle back to being what he was that season he was on track to be MVP. You know, the same season where St. Nick came in and actually won the Super Bowl. He's trying to get back to that. But against the Rams, Aaron Donald and them boys, I don't really see him, being able to really rock that ship this week at least. So don't start him. Go ahead and sit him down. I'm sure you got another great quarterback, so use him. Saquon Barkley, even though he's playing tonight, word came through today that he will play tonight. I'm not sure how great he's going to be. Now, McCaffrey had an awesome game on Sunday, and he almost made the list this week. He's got an honorable mention. If he plays like that for the second week in a row, then the man is back. We'll believe, and we'll put him back on the list. But Saquon has to prove tonight that he is healthy and that he can run that rock. But I wouldn't take the chance. That's just me. But if Saquon is the best that you got in the woodshed, go ahead and start. Will Fuller versus the Bills. He's just prone to injury, and he's coming off one now. Will Fuller is a speedster. He's a golden domer. Y'all know how I feel about Notre Dame. He's a golden domer. But Will has not been the pro that I thought he should be because of his health. When he's in there, he's the man. But I don't know how he's going to perform coming off yet another injury. And then, surprisingly, sit Miami's defense. I know there's been a lot to be said about their defense, but don't expect the Bills and their offense to be held in check once again. And I do consider Pittsburgh's defense a step above Miami's. So I'm really thinking that Josh Allen is going to right the ship, and they might blow the doors off of Miami. So be careful. And last but not least, before we get to the who you got, we have a fantasy flameout of the week. And I can't give it to none other than Mr. Discount Double Check, Aaron Rodgers. We expected so much. And I know the person that has him as their fantasy quarterback in our league expected him to come out rocking against the Saints, but he didn't do that. And he had one of the worst QBRs of all time. But that's just 1 week. That's an anomaly. He's a man that's filled with ego and pride, and he will not let that happen again. But just for this week, Mr. Rodgers, you are the flame out. All right, so who y'all got tonight? Well, since I'm running solo and I don't have anybody else to share with, I'm going to tell you who I'm rocking with tonight. I'm rocking with the Washington football team. I mean, could it be any other way to go? And I think I already said it. I think My running back is going to have a really good night. I think Antonio Gibson, I think he's going to show out. Of course, scary Terry McLaurin and Logan should have good games. I expect the defense to show up and do more of the positive things that they were doing on Sunday. And we're not going to worry about that first loss because it's just one, and we're going to keep going. So that's who I got tonight. For all you Giants fans out there, I extend my condolences to you because y'all got to take this L in proper fashion. We'll see what Danny Dimes does. We'll see what Saquon does. We'll see what his name Shepard does. We'll see what you guys do tonight. But we'll see you guys start next week. Enjoy the game. God bless you. Be safe and don't hurt nobody out there. Peace.